Sean MacGuire is one of the more memorable, charismatic members of the van der Linde gang, and his story in Red Dead Redemption 2 is both heartfelt and tragic. He's a cocky young Irish outlaw who comes from a long line of criminals. His father, Dara MacGuire, was a Fenian insurgent of sorts, and Sean inherited that rebel streak. Sean isn't just about violence, though. He's brash, talkative, always craving a piece of action. But he's also loyal to the gang, and there's a real youthful idealism to him. Early in the game, after the disastrous Blackwater ferry job, Sean ends up separated from the gang and is captured by bounty hunters. Arthur, Javier, and Charles go on a daring rescue mission, aided by Trelawney, to save him. They find him tied up and hanging, and after a firefight, they free him. His gratitude and relief are genuine, and the gang throws a big celebration when he returns. That rescue feels like the moment you really see Sean's heart. In camp, he's the guy telling tall tales, joking around, but also deeply proud to belong. Soon after, he joins Arthur on a few missions. One where they burn down the Gray's tobacco fields with Hosea, another where they rob a train. He doesn't always have the sharpest plan, and he overestimates his own abilities sometimes, but he's earnest, and he wants to prove himself. Sean also has a complicated, affectionate relationship with Karen Jones. After he's rescued, he and Karen spend time together. There's flirtation, fun, and a sense that Sean really cares about her, even if he hides deeper feelings behind bravado. But tragedy looms. During a mission in Rhodes, Sean is walking the street with Arthur, Bill, and Micah, and suddenly they're ambushed by the Gray's men. A sniper takes him out, one bullet to the head. His death hits hard. Arthur's reaction is deeply personal. He asks for a proper burial, showing that despite Sean's flaws, he was more than just a foot soldier. He was someone Arthur respected and genuinely liked. And Karen is devastated by his loss. Her grief contributes to the downward spiral she goes through later. Sean's role is small in terms of hours of gameplay, but his impact is significant. He's the youthful fire in the gang, someone who believes in the dream, maybe a little too naively. And his death marks a turning point. His optimism, energy, and loyalty remind the gang and the player of what the van der Linde gang was at its best. In a broader sense, Sean's life and death illustrate one of Red Dead Redemption 2's core themes: the cost of freedom. He's not just another outlaw. He's a young man who wanted to belong, who wanted to matter, and who paid the ultimate price for being in a world that was collapsing around him. His story may be brief, but it's emotionally potent. A reminder that even in a gang of hardened criminals, there's room for innocence, idealism, and heartbreak. Sean's personality stands out because he balances recklessness with charm. He's loud, brash, and often the first to jump into trouble, but his enthusiasm is infectious. He has a way of lifting the mood in camp, telling stories about his past exploits in Ireland or spinning tall tales to make the gang laugh. His humor and charisma make his death hit even harder. It's not just the loss of a gang member, but the loss of someone who brought lightness and camaraderie to an increasingly grim world. Sean represents the fleeting joy and youthful optimism that the van der Linde gang once had, and his absence leaves a void that no one else can fill. Even in his short time with the gang, Sean leaves a lasting impression. His bravery, loyalty, and zest for life make him memorable, and his death underscores the harsh reality of the outlaw lifestyle. You first meet Sean MacGuire as this energetic, almost chaotic Irishman whose enthusiasm seems like the exact opposite of Arthur Morgan's wearied, world-weary stoicism. Sean isn't some silent gunslinger or hardened outlaw like many in the van der Linde gang. He's talkative, irreverent, and delightfully reckless, packing jokes, stories, and a thick Irish accent that makes him memorable the moment he opens his mouth. That contrast sets the tone for their relationship. Arthur doesn't initially hate Sean, but he certainly finds him annoying, like an exuberant little brother who doesn't know when to shut up, yet always thinks he knows best. Sean's early moments in the story really show this dynamic. After the chaotic ferry robbery in Blackwater falls apart, Sean is separated and captured by bounty hunters. And it's Arthur, along with Javier Escuela, Charles Smith, and Trelawney, who go out of their way to rescue him. Arthur's decision to help rescue Sean isn't portrayed as some grand emotional beat, but it absolutely is a moment where Arthur's loyalty goes beyond duty to the gang. It's a personal investment in someone who constantly gets on his nerves, but whom he nonetheless refuses to abandon. Sean is grateful in the way only Sean can be, trying to hug Arthur and joking about how much he admires him. And Arthur lets it slide even if he barely shows it outwardly. Their relationship continues to grow as the story progresses. Sean is hardly the most capable member of the gang, but he often rushes headlong into situations and overestimates his abilities. But Arthur doesn't dismiss him. They do jobs together, like robbing trains or burning down the Gray family fields. And though Sean's unpredictability sometimes frustrates Arthur, he respects Sean's willingness to be in it, to take part and contribute. There's a scene in one of the companion activities where Sean and Arthur raid a shack for stolen money. Sean's idea entirely. And while the two of them have to clean up the mess, they share that chaos in an uneven partnership that slowly cements mutual regard. What makes their bond especially poignant isn't that Sean becomes some sort of equal to Arthur. He doesn't, especially in skill or experience, but that Arthur starts to care about him. It's not overt or dramatic. It's a slow, human shift. Arthur often teases Sean, the way you might poke at a younger relative who talks too much, calling him things like English with that half-gruff tone Arthur uses with almost everyone. But underneath the banter is familiarity, and over time, Arthur acknowledges Sean's presence in ways he rarely does with others. Even Charles, another quieter friend of Arthur's, notes how Sean talks nonstop and gets under everyone's skin. But Arthur doesn't kick him out of the gang or shut him down. He works with him, watches out for him, and, crucially, fights alongside him. And that's the heart of it. Arthur's relationship with Sean reflects Arthur's own begrudging optimism. Arthur, who has seen so much death and betrayal, sees in Sean someone still alive to life, someone who grins at the world with reckless abandon. There's something bittersweet there. Sean represents everything Arthur has lost: youth, amusement, hope. Yet he never dismisses Sean for those qualities. Their dynamic shows Arthur's capacity to tolerate joy even when it irritates him, and that's significant for a character drowning in cynicism.